Hello everyone, welcome to free crash course on competitive exams held by VIRAT Hindustan Sangham in association with Manifest IAS, Bengaluru. So this program is inspired by Dr. Subramanian SWAMY and it was inaugurated on 28th August. So you can watch this program online on YouTube channel of VIRAT Hindustan Sangham. Here is the link, and also YouTube channel of Udaya News Karnataka. Here is the link. So this program is convened by Shri Ravishankar sir, State Education Convener for VHS Karnataka and also President of Good Neighbors India NGO. So I am your Chief Educator. So I have been training civil servants for past 5 years. Okay. So here is the timetable and syllabus. So as per the schedule, today is the last class of Polity. From tomorrow, most probably, we will be starting history, provided today Polity gets over. Okay, so here is your timetable and you can join our Telegram channel, VHS Education Forum. Here is the link. Also by scanning this QR code, you can join the group. So what to expect out of these classes for freshers and veterans? So senior aspirants can use this program as a revision course. So to revise the entire syllabus of competitive exams. Whereas freshers can use this to have a gist or have a look at what they are supposed to study, in their preparation for competitive exams. Okay, let us begin the class. So what is the source? The source for your entire polity is Lakshmikant. If you buy just this one book, your entire polity will get covered. So the source is Lakshmikant. So today we are going to end the class on polity most probably. Okay. Okay, beginning the class, we are going to discuss Attorney General of India. So, Attorney General, what is Attorney General? Attorney General means he is the chief lawyer of the government of India. So, government also has a lawyer. So, what is this lawyer's name? Attorney General of India. Constitutional provisions, Article 76. Article 76 is the provision for Attorney General. So he is the highest law officer in the country. So judges are not the highest law officers. Who is the highest law officer? It is the Attorney General of India. Okay, appointment and term. So how the appointment of Attorney General is done? So the Attorney General is appointed by whom? Is appointed by President on the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers. So who can be appointed? Only a person who is qualified to be a judge of Supreme Court. A person who has qualifications to be a judge of Supreme Court can be appointed as a Attorney General of India. So the term is not given in the Constitution. What is the term? Term is not given in the Constitution. So it depends on the President. If the President wishes, he can remove the Attorney General at any time. So this doctrine is called as pleasure of President. Whenever the President likes, he can remove the Attorney General. Okay. So, and the remuneration. So his salary and everything is also determined by President. So this is with respect to the appointment and term. Next, duties and functions. What are the duties and functions of Attorney General? So the chief law officer of the government, what duty he has? Yes, he should give advice. He should give advice to the government of India upon such legal matters referred to him by the President. So the President refers certain cases. President refers certain cases to the Attorney General. So when the President refers, Attorney General has to give his opinion whether this case is legal, whether this case is illegal, whatever the intricacies of the case, the Attorney General has to give his opinion. Okay. So also the next duty is whatever the President assigns, legal duty, whatever the legal duty with respect to law, whatever the duty is assigned by the President, he has to do that duty. Okay. So also any other function in the Constitution. So any function given in the Constitution, that also he should carry out. These are the three duties of the Attorney General. So apart from that, the President has given certain functions to the whom? To the Attorney General. What are the functions? He has to appear on behalf of Government of India wherever Government of India is having a case. Suppose in the Supreme Court someone files a case against Government of India. Who represents the Government of India? It is the Attorney General who represents the Government of India. So Government of India doesn't have a private lawyer. There is always a lawyer called Attorney General of India. Also, in the cases, so I already told on the chapter of President, the President can seek legal opinion from the Supreme Court. In under which article? Article 143. In under 143 also, who represents the Government of India or the President? It is the Attorney General. So also he should appear. So suppose someone files a case against Government of India in the High Courts. In the High Courts also, Attorney General, suppose someone files a case in Karnataka High Court against Government of India. So the Attorney General should come from Delhi to Karnataka and appear on behalf of Government of India in the Karnataka High Court. Right to audience. So if he has to appear in any court in India, he has the right to go and appear. No judge can stop him from appearing. That is called as right to audience in all courts of India. So also he has privileges and immunities. So I already told parliamentary privileges. So similarly, the same privileges are extended to Attorney General. So I already told Attorney General what he can do? He can go and sit in the Parliament. So either in the Lok Sabha or the Rajya Sabha, he can go and sit in the proceedings. However, he cannot vote. So by this virtue, the privileges of the Parliament is extended to him, not only to the MPs, even AG has the privileges of the Parliament. AG means attorney. Limitations, he should not hold. So he should not represent against Government of India. He should, because he is a lawyer for Government of India, he should not go against Government of India. Suppose someone files a case against Government of India, he should not represent that person. He should always represent the Government of India. Also, he should not give advice. Suppose a case against Government of India is filed, he should not advise the opposition party with respect to this case. So that is also one of the limitation. Also, criminal proceedings he cannot defend. So suppose a criminal is there, he cannot fight a case on behalf of him. These are certain limitations. Okay. So but one condition, he can one privilege is there, he is not debarred from private practice. He can hold private practice as well. He can take up cases in his private capacity. So next comes the office of Solicitors General of India. So it is like a subordinate office to Attorney General. So Attorney General, first level, subordinate level, Solicitor General. So Solicitor General, he assists the AG. He is the assistant to Attorney General. So this is not a constitutional office. This is not a constitutional office. However, Attorney General is a constitutional office. Okay. What are the articles? Article 76. Article 76 speaks about Attorney General. Advocate General. Next, we will move to Advocate General. Similar to Attorney General at the central level, we have Advocate General at the state level. Similar office at the state level. What is the article? Article 165. Article 165. Okay. So, what is his qualification? So, qualification, appointment for qualification, he should be eligible to be appointed as a High Court judge. Attorney General should be eligible to be appointed as a Supreme Court judge. Advocate General, High Court judge. So, okay. And also, his term is not fixed in the Constitution. So, he holds his office during the pleasure of Governor. Whenever the Governor wants, he can remove the Advocate General. That is what is meant by pleasure. So, term is not fixed. Duties and functions. So, similarly, how the Attorney General represents whom? Government of India. He represents Government of State in the legal matters, and also he discharges functions given to him. He discharges the functions given to him in the Constitution. Whatever the functions and duties of Attorney General, if you replicate it at the state level, it will be for Advocate General. That's all. So Article 165. Okay. So this is with respect to Attorney General and Auditor General. Next we will move to non-constitutional bodies. So we are beginning a chapter on so till now whatever I spoke are constitutional bodies. Now we are starting with non-constitutional bodies. Non-constitutional bodies. Okay. The first non-constitutional body is the favorite of all of us. It is Niti Aayog. So when was Niti Aayog established? Which was the body before Niti Aayog? So it was Planning Commission. Planning Commission was there since the 1950s. However, it was abolished in 2014. On 1st January 2015, Niti Aayog comes into picture. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi establishes Niti Aayog on 1st January 2015. So what is the full form of Niti Aayog? Niti means National Institute for Transforming India. National Institute for Transforming India. So it is not a constitutional body or a statutory body. So it is not formed by constitution. It is not formed by any law. So how is it formed? It is formed by the executive decision, that is government decision. Government passes a order saying that we are going to form a Niti Aayog. So by executive action, this Niti Aayog is formed, similar to Planning Commission. Planning Commission was also not formed by constitution. Also it was not formed by any law. It was formed by executive order of the government. So it is a government body. So what is it? It is a policy think tank. Policy think tank. What do you mean by think tank? So policy. What do you mean by policy? So governmental policy, whatever the decisions, whatever the measures, whatever the programs, whatever the aspirations and goals of the government are formulated into a policy. So few policies, telecom policy we have, health policy we have, and atomic energy policy we have, and so many other policies. Okay, education policy, new education policy 2020. So there are so many policies. So about this policy, someone has to formulate the policy. Rather than, so who formulates? It is the government which formulates the policy, right? Okay. So in order to formulate the policy, the government has to receive some inputs, right? So someone has to research on this policy. Someone has to give inputs. What inputs? Researched inputs, valuable inputs, knowledgeable inputs. Who does the research? It is the Niti Aayog. That is why it is called think tank. Think tank means they think about the policy. What kind of policy can be formed? Okay. So they give strategic. One is strategic. I already told in the earlier classes what is strategic and long term. Strategic and long term policies. Okay. So earlier what used to happen, the policy used to flow from center to state. Center to state, the policy used to go form. Center used to formulate some policy and states had to implement the policy. So however, after Niti Aayog has come, so Niti Aayog takes the opinion of the states also. So states' opinion is respected by the Niti Aayog. So there is no top-down approach. Rather, we have bottom-up approach. Okay. So we have bottom-up approach. So what is the rationale for establishing Niti Aayog? So what is the rationale? So the replacement. So replacement of Planning Commission. Why it was replaced? Because planning commission was an outdated body. There was top-down approach. There was a top-down approach in policy formulation. So here the rationale is to bring about a paradigm shift. Paradigm shift means new phase, new phase. So new India requires new policy think tank, a think tank which is in synchronization with the new times. That is why this new Niti Aayog was formed. So some of the rationales are, it empowers the states, it empowers the role of the states. That is the first rationale. Second rationale is, it is a knowledge hub. It is a knowledge hub. Knowledge hub means whatever area you take energy, you take science and technology, you take social sector, you take the disadvantageous sectors, or the children, education, health, old age people, whatever it is. So on all these areas, this Niti Aayog has some knowledge. So that is why it is called knowledge hub. Okay. So it is a collaborative platform for facilitating implementation. Collaboration between whom? Collaboration between the center and state, also among the states and states, also among the research institutes and the government, also among the industry and the government. So there is a whole spectrum of collaboration. Okay. So that is why the 65-year-old planning commission, which was not adapt to the new century or the new times, was abolished and the new institute was formed. That is Niti Aayog. What is the composition? Composition means we have a chairperson. Who is the chairperson of Niti Aayog? It is the Prime Minister who is the chairperson. Next we have Governing Council. Governing Council, who are the members? Governing Council members are Chief Ministers of all the states. Chief Ministers of all the states are members of the Governing Council. The third body is Regional Councils. Regional Councils. So regional councils are formed for specific areas. Suppose South India has border issues between Karnataka and Belgaum, and also interstate water disputes between Karnataka and Telangana. So to deal with similar issues, regional forums are formed. And also we have special invitees. Who are the special invitees? These are research people, university professors, and highly knowledgeable intellectuals are special invitees. Apart from this, we have a full-time organization. Full-time organization. Who heads the full-time organization? There is a permanent vice chairperson. So earlier it was Arvind Panagria. So he was the full-time vice chairperson. Earlier it was Arvind Panagria. So next we have full-time members. Full-time members. Apart from full-time VP, we have full-time members. Along with that, we have part-time members as well. Who are the part-time members? They are from people from leading universities, research institutions. They are part-time members. Also, ex officio members. What do you mean by ex officio? The secretaries and other people. They are out of their office just because they hold the office of secretary. They are eligible to be represented in this Niti Aayog. That is what is called as ex officio members. Okay. Along with that, we have Chief Executive Officer, CEO. Who is the CEO of Niti Aayog? It is Shri Amitabh Kant. Okay. So also we have Secretariat. Secretariat means office. So with secretaries, who does all the paperwork, who supplies all the documents, information and everything. We have Secretariat. Also we have specialized wings. Niti Aayog has specialized wings. What are the specialized wings? One is research wing. Research wing. What is research wing? It researches on the policy, what new policies can be formulated. Suppose we are having, what we have now, the electric vehicles. Electric vehicles are coming up. So to research on that, there is a, suppose they want to research on electric vehicles, there is a research wing. And also consultancy wing. Consultancy wing between whom? They consult the states, they consult various organizations, they consult the industry. So there is a consultancy wing. They provide solutions for various issues. Along with that, there is a Team India wing. Team India wing headed by whom? It is headed by the Prime Minister. So, like this, we have many bodies. So, these are the specialized wings. What are the objectives? What are the goals? What are the aims and aspirations of Niti Aayog? So, the first goal is national development. National development is the goal of Niti Aayog. And also, we have to foster cooperative federalism. What do you mean by cooperative federalism? I already told federalism means division of power between center and states. These two organs and also states and states have to cooperate among themselves. States and state, center and state should not fight among themselves. This is called as cooperative federalism. This is ensured by whom? It is ensured by Niti Aayog. And also, they formulate bottom-up plan. Formulate bottom-up plan. Village level, what are the needs? Taluk level, what are the needs? District level, what are the needs? What plan has to be formulated? So, this plan is formulated from bottom until the top. So, that is one of the objectives. So, they also pay special attention to certain sections. Poor section, vulnerable section, transgenders, children, women, special old age, special sections are focused. And also, they design strategic and long-term policies. Strategic and long-term policies. So, they also work in the area of intersectoral and interdepartmental coordination. What do you mean by interdepartmental? Government has many departments. Ministry of Agriculture has fertilizer department, fertilizer department is there, irrigation department is there, and many other departments are there under whom? And also we have research department in agriculture. So there are many departments. Likewise, we have many departments in under what ministry? Home Ministry has many departments. Finance Ministry has many departments. These departments often fight among themselves. However, this to bring about a collaboration among these departments, Niti Aayog does the work. So these are some of the objectives of the Niti Aayog. Okay, let's next move towards functions. What are the functions? So first function is to design policy. To design policy. Suppose we have this Model Tenancy Act. Who formulated? Model Tenancy Act formulated by Niti Aayog. Likewise, many Model Rent Act. Model Rent Act. That was also formulated by Niti Aayog. So many acts are formulated, model acts. And also they bring cooperative federalism. They monitor the programs. They monitor the programs. Whatever the programs held by the Government of India. This Manrega, that is Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, and also many programs, Ayushman Bharat program, Janaushadhi program, and also this Gati Shakti program with respect to infrastructure. Whatever the programs are there, these are monitored by whom? It is monitored by Niti Aayog. Okay. So they also focus on various areas. What are the areas focused by Niti Aayog? They focus on agriculture, energy, financial resources, health, industry, and many other areas. So what are the guiding principles? So what are the values based on which Niti Aayog does all this work? So the first guiding principle is Antyodaya. Antyodaya means what? Poorest of the poor. The poorest of the poor should get the benefit. That is what the guiding principle. Inclusion, all sections of the society, whether it is poor, whether it is women, whether it is transgender, whether it is old age, whether it is disabled, everybody should get the benefit. Inclusion. Village level should be respected. Demographic dividend means all sections of all age groups should be properly engaged in productive work. All age group, whether it is children or youth or middle age or old age, everybody should be productively engaged. People's participation, governance, all these are the guiding principles of Niti Aayog. Cooperative federalism. So I already told what is cooperative federalism. So with respect to cooperative federalism, so they focus on a national development agenda. National development agenda. NDA doesn't mean the National Democratic Alliance. It is national development agenda. That is one of the principle of cooperative federalism. And also advocacy of states' perspective with central ministers. States, whatever the states feel. So states will have so many issues. Kerala has so many issues. Karnataka has so many issues. So these states' issues will be represented to the center. That is also one of the principle of cooperative federalism. So earlier what used to happen, the central government used to direct the policies. That is, they used to say, state governments, you should do this. So they would not respect the state government's view. Their view or their needs and aspirations were not taken into consideration. However, now their state government's view is also considered by the central government thanks to Niti Ayog's policy on cooperative federalism. Okay. So with respect to cooperative federalism, how the cooperative federalism is ensured? First is meeting of the governing council. Governing council, I told, the state governments, state CMs are members of governing council. They would meet frequently. That is the first principle. Next is subgroups of chief ministers. Chief ministers group will meet again and again. That is the second principle. And also Niti Forum for Northeast. There is a Niti Ayog Forum for Northeast India. That will also ensure cooperative federalism. And also we have sustainable action for transforming human capital. Sustainable action for transforming human capital. That is SAT. What is SAT means? So human capital. Human capital means what? A person who is educated, who is of good health, is considered a good human capital. How this human capital would be utilized productively for national benefit. So that is the aim of the sustainable action for transforming human capital. So what is the criticism of Niti Ayog? So they say it is a old wine in a new bottle. What do you mean by old wine in a new bottle? Whatever the functions the planning commission was doing, same function this Niti Ayog is also doing. So that is why these opposition parties are saying, so it is a reinvented version of planning commission. There is nothing new. That is one of the criticism of Niti Ayog. Attached officers. What are the officers that are attached with Niti Ayog? So we have National Institute of Labour Economics and Research and Development. National Institute for Labour Economics. So what does this institute do? NILERD. NILERD. So what does this institute do? Labour economics. So to benefit the labourers, whether their salary, their pensions and various other benefits are given properly, and also how to utilize the labour in a productive way. So they research and development. So in order this organization will research on the labour and also promote labour development. Okay, so that is one of the attached office. Next office we all also know this DMEO. What is DMEO? Department of Monitoring and Evaluation Office. Sorry, Development Monitoring and Evaluation Office. So whatever the development initiatives, that might be this your development initiatives. So that might be your national infrastructure pipeline, Bharat Mala, Sagar Mala with respect to infrastructure, or Ayushman Bharat, Janaushadhi with respect to health infrastructure. With respect to road infrastructure, we have the Atal Prime Minister Gram Sadak Yojana, and also we have Gati Shakti with respect to infrastructure. So various development initiatives. So various development initiatives that will be monitored and Atmanirbhar Bharat, that will also be monitored and evaluated by this office. So also let us briefly talk about Planning Commission. So this Planning Commission was established in 1950. So what was it doing? It used to formulate plans, 5-year plans. So if you know this much, they won't ask much in detail about Planning Commission because it is long gone, more than 6-7 years. Okay, this is with respect to Planning Commission. So Planning Commission, certain functions I will tell of, you can note down. So they make a assessment of human resources of the country, whatever the resources, human resources, how to make use of the human resources, that is that is assessed by the Planning Commission. And also they priorities to in what priorities programs of the government has to be carried out, that is also formulated by Planning Commission. So there are various other functions of Planning Commission. So the composition, Prime Minister was the head. There was and also there is a deputy chairman. Who was the last deputy chairman? Montek Singh Ahluwalia. So these are the brief composition of Planning Commission. Next is National Development Council. So this is also a non-constitutional, non-statutory body. So it was established in 1952. What is the composition? The composition: Prime Minister is the head, all union minister, cabinet ministers, chief ministers, and members of Planning Commission or the is the composition of the National Development Council. However, since 7-8 years, National Development Council is also not called to meet. So it is also a redundant body. Okay. So because that work is also transferred to Niti Aayog. So what were the objectives? The objectives of this National Development Council is similar to the objectives of the Niti Aayog. Okay, next we will discuss the most important body, National Human Rights Commission. So whenever you are right as a human, what is human rights? Just because you exist as a human. So citizen rights is different. Citizen rights only be when you are a citizen of a particular country. Just because you are a citizen of a country, you will get these citizen rights. What are such rights? Fundamental rights is one such right. Human right. What do you mean by human right? Just because you are a human, you will have certain rights. This is called human right. So National Human Rights Commission, when was it established? It was established in 1993. So this is not a constitutional body. This is not constituted by the Indian Constitution. So based on which it is constituted? It is constituted on the statutory basis, that is parliamentary law, National Human Rights Act. So based on National Human Rights Act, National Human Rights Commission was formulated. So it is the chief watchdog of human rights. Just like how the UPSC is the watchdog of merit system in India, the watchdog of human rights is National Human Rights Commission. Okay. So what are the objectives? So they strengthen the institutional mechanism in order to promote human rights, and also they look into the excesses of human rights. Suppose your human right is impinged, police torture you, then that you can complain to National Human Rights Commission. Okay, what is the composition? Who are the members of the National Human Rights Commission? What is their qualification? Okay, so the National Human Rights Commission consists of a chairman. There will be a chairman plus 5 members. Okay. So the chairman should be a retired Chief Justice of India or a Judge of Supreme Court. He should be a retired Chief Justice of India or a Judge of Supreme Court. So H.L. Dattu, who is from Karnataka, was the chairman of National Human Rights Commission. Just check out if he is still the chairman, because I think he is the chairman even now. Okay. So along with that, Along with that, there is a judge of Supreme Court who is a member. So, a judge of Supreme Court and also a Chief Justice of a High Court. So, one is Chief Justice of Supreme Court or a Supreme Court judge can be a chairman. Along with that, there is a Supreme Court judge who can be a member. Also, one Chief Justice of High Court is a member, and also extra three persons are nominated by government. So, out of which at least one person should be woman. So, along with this C plus 5, chairman plus 5, there are other members. What are those members? They are ex officio members. Ex officio members I already told. Just because they hold that office, they are members. So, who are they? Chairman of National Commission of SC. I told it about yesterday. Chairman of National Commission of ST. Chairman of National Commission of Backward Classes and many other bodies. So, they are the members, ex officio members of the National Human Rights Commission. There are totally 7 ex officio members along with permanent members. So, these members are appointed by whom? They are appointed by, as usual, the President of India. So, can the President appoint anyone? No. It is based on recommendation of a 6-member committee. This 6-member committee recommends who should be the members of the NHRC, National Human Rights Commission. Who are the members of this 6-member committee? It is Prime Minister, Speaker of Lok Sabha, Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha, Leader of Opposition in both the houses, and Home Ministers. These are the 6 members who recommend to the President, who should be the members of the National Human Rights Commission. So, the term and tenure. So, they hold office for 3 years. Earlier it was 5 years. Now, they hold office for 3 years or until the age of 70 years. Okay. And they can be reappointed. To the same office. However, they cannot be appointed in any other government job. So, when can the NHRC members be removed? When can they be removed? So, they can be removed when is adjudged insolvent. When they take a debt from some person and doesn't repay the debt, then they can be removed. And also, if they engage in paid employment during the office, if they engage in some private employment, then they can be removed. Unsound mind and body, they can be removed. Likewise, there are many conditions. One more is proved misbehavior and incapacity. In the case of incapacity or proved misbehavior, the case is referred to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court gives the recommendation based on which he or she is removed. What are the functions of the NHRC? So, what are the functions of NHRC? To inquire into violation of human rights. Suppose your human rights are violated. Suppose you are tortured by the police. Then the NHRC will inquire into it. And also to intervene in proceedings involving human rights. Suppose there is a proceeding in front of a court. So, a court is hearing a case with respect to human rights. Here, the NHRC can directly intervene, need not ask anybody's permission. They can visit jails and detention places. In the jails, whether the conditions are good, who can go and check? It is the NHRC members. Okay. They also study national and international laws with respect to human rights, and also they promote literacy with respect to human rights. Most of the people in India do not know what is human rights. So, this NHRC works towards promoting awareness about human rights. Working of the commission, how the commission works. So, it works like a civil court. Okay. So, it is headquartered where? It is headquarters of NHRC is in Delhi. They have the commission has its own investigation officers. Investigation officers investigate into human rights violation. Okay. So, here, suppose a case takes place in 2020. Suppose a human right violation case takes place in 2020. So, within 1 year, the aggrieved person, the victim, has to approach the NHRC. After 1 year, the case cannot be taken up by whom? By NHRC. Within 1 year, the case has to be taken up. That is one condition. So, what are certain functions? They recommend to the government to give compensation. Suppose somebody's right is violated, it recommends the state government to compensate that person. And also, it can ask for initiating of proceedings. Some government official has violated the human rights. Police has violated the human rights. So it can ask the state government to take action against that police officer. It can grant interim relief, some interim money or interim relief, interim housing or something, job can be granted by National Human Rights Commission. So, what is the role of the commission? It is mainly a recommendatory body, advisory body. So, its recommendation need not be accepted by the government. So, its recommendation need not be accepted by the government. So, if the human rights are violated, the commission has no power to punish. Just like how the courts punish the culprits, National Human Rights cannot punish the person, that is culprits. So that is one drawback. And also one more drawback is these armed forces, Army, Navy, Air Force people violate human rights of people in Jammu and Kashmir, in Northeast India. So there the NHRC cannot intervene with respect to armed forces. So armed forces, this NHRC cannot go and intervene. So performance of the commission, what is the good things that has happened by the commission? Certain good things are, because of NHRC, bonded labor was abolished. So, and also government protective homes, women protection homes were checked frequently. So jail conditions in jails were improved, and also rights of children's rights, that is child employment has come down, and also abolition of child labor, and also trafficking of women for prostitution and various things that has also come down, and also abolition of manual scavenging, so cleaning of latrines by Dalits, that has also come down because of intervention of whom? National Human Rights Commission. Next, we will talk about States Human Rights Commission, similar function to NHRC. So, what is the constitutional provision? It is same. No constitutional provision because it's not a constitutional body. It is a statutory body. Which Act? National Human Rights Act 1993 also provides. So, it provides for establishment of NHRC. Similarly, it provides for establishment of SHRC, State Human Rights Commission also. So 26 states have established States Human Rights Commission. So what is the area of work? So NHRC focuses on issues in the union list. So 7th schedule, there are 3 lists: union, concurrent and state list. So NHRC majorly focuses on union list and concurrent list. SHRC focuses on concurrent list and state list issues. So what is the composition of the SHRC? What is the composition? So it consists of chairperson plus 2 members. There chairperson plus 5 members. Here chairperson plus 2 members. So who appoints the chairman and other members? It is the governor. Governor appoints the chairperson and other members. Okay. So what is the term? So they hold office for, similar to NHRC members, they hold office for 3 years or until the age of 70. Okay. So even though they are appointed by governor, so who appoints it? Similar to so NHRC, the person is removed by whom? Removed by president. So similarly, here also the appointment, SHRC members are appointed by whom? It is appointed by governor. So chairman plus 2 members appointed by governor. However, even though they are appointed by governor, who removes them? It is the president. This peculiar condition you have to remember. Prelims question. So even though they are appointed by governor, who has the responsibility of removing him? It is the president. So what are the conditions? Similar conditions to NHRC. If he is adjudged and insolvent, that is if he takes a debt and doesn't repay, and also he engages in private employment, if he is unfit to continue in the office, bodily or mental issues, and also if he is judged in misbehavior or incapacity by Supreme Court. In those conditions, this person can be removed. Okay. So how the SHRC and NHRC independence is taken care of? Their conditions of service, that is their salary, their term cannot be varied to their disadvantage. Once the person is appointed, he cannot be arbitrarily dismissed. His salary cannot be reduced. That is how the independence of the office is ensured. Okay, functions of the commission. Functions of the commission similar to NHRC: to inquire into human rights violation, so intervene in the proceedings of courts, and also visit jails and detention places. All the conditions which I told for NHRC are applicable for SHRC as well. Okay, working of the commission. What is the working of the commission? Similar working to NHRC. So the commission is vested with the power to regulate its own procedure. That is how the commission functions on a day-to-day basis. Who decides it? Whether the central government or the state government. Nobody decides it. It is the commission itself. How the commission functions is decided by the commission itself. So it is a quasi-judicial body, that is semi-judicial body. It functions as a civil court. It has the powers of a civil court. Okay. So similar condition, it cannot go into an issue after 1 year. Within 1 year, the case has to be taken up. So with respect to what are the function, what powers does it have? It can provide for relief, granting immediate relief. Suppose a person's human right is violated, immediate relief can be provided to him. Also, it can recommend to the state government to give permanent relief to that person, to give him some amount, and also it can recommend to the state government to start proceedings, prosecute a guilty official who has violated the human rights. So next we have Human Rights Code. So with respect to Human Rights Code, just one thing you have to remember: every district in India has one Human Rights Code. So this is provided by which act? Protection of Human Rights Act 1993. Okay, 2019 Amendment Act. This amendment is important because it curtailed many functions of the Human Rights Commission. So earlier what used to happen? Who could be the judge? Who could be the chairman of NHRC? It was only former CJI, that is former Chief Justice of India. However, 2019 Amendment Act said even a normal Supreme Court judge who is retired can also be a chairman of NHRC. Okay, so it increased number of members to 3 members. 3 members. So along with chairperson, it has a chairperson plus 2 members earlier. So now it is chairperson plus 5 members. So it also made some authorities, that is National Commission for Backward Classes, which was not a representative in, I told, ex officio bodies. So National Commission of Backward Commission didn't have representation in where? Didn't have representation in the NHRC. So this amendment gave representation to him. Also the term from 5 years, earlier it was 5 years until 70 years. Now it is 3 years and 70 years. Okay. So these are some of the changes introduced by SHRC, State Human Rights Commission. Okay, Central Information Commission, very, very important body. When was this established? This was established in 2005. This was established in 2005, which is the Act, RTI Act. RTI Act. So it is not a constitutional body. What type of body it is? It is a statutory body. It is formed by the law of the parliament. That is why it is called a statutory body. So it is a high-powered independent body. It is a high-powered independent body. What is the composition? It consists of a Chief Information Commissioner, CIC plus 10 Information Commissioners. 1 CIC plus 10 ICs, 10 Information Commissioners. That is the composition of the what? Composition of Chief this CIC. So Central Information Commission. Okay. So who appoints them? Who appoints them? So it is appointed by the President. So can the President appoint anyone as CIC and other members? No. They can appoint based on a committee. Committee consisting of whom? Prime Minister, Leader of Opposition in Lok Sabha, Union Cabinet Minister. So a committee consisting of 3 persons. In the case of NHRC, 6 persons committee. In the case of CIC, 3 persons committee recommends to the President who has to be appointed as the members of Central Information Commission. What are the who can be appointed? The persons who are having eminence in public life, that they have achieved something in public life, they can be appointed as the members of Central Information Commission. Tenure and service conditions. What is the tenure? Till what age they will be having work? So earlier there was proper tenure system, 5 years. So there was an amendment in 2020. 2020 amendment, what did amendment to which act? RTA Act. What the government did? The tenure of the members and chairman is decided by the government. Government decides till what age or till how many years this person can serve the Central Information Commission. So it is the prerogative of the government. So this impinges on what? Independence. Suppose a person gives information against the government. So the government might immediately remove him because the removal is in the hands of central government. That is why it impinges on the independence. So for such term, so the tenure is fixed by central government. So either the tenure is fixed by government or after 65 years they cannot be appointed. Until 65 years they can be appointed and they cannot be reappointed. So NHRC members can be reappointed. CIC members cannot be reappointed. What is the condition for removal? Similar conditions to NHRC. If a person takes a debt, insolvent. If a person takes debt and doesn't repay, he can be removed. And also, if he has been convicted of an offense, moral turpitude. Moral turpitude means immorality. If he is convicted of moral turpitude, if a person displays immorality in the public, so if he is convicted of such immorality, that is, for example, beating one's wife. So if a person is caught beating one's wife and if he is convicted of that offense, it involves moral turpitude, then he can be removed. And also if he engages in paid employment, he can be removed. And also unfit body and mind, he can be removed. Along with that, misbehavior and incapacity. In the case of misbehavior and incapacity, Supreme Court refers. The case goes to Supreme Court. Supreme Court says this person can be removed, then only he can be removed. So these are the tenure and service conditions. Powers and functions. What are the powers and functions of Central Information Commission? So they receive and inquire. They receive and inquire into the complaints. So what complaints? If a person, RTI, so every one of you would have filed RTI either once or twice in your life. So if you are not able to submit your application, then you can go to a CIC. Suppose the information which you sought was not given to you, then also you can go to CIC. And also if the fees charged is too much, then also you can go. And also information, if they give false information, then also you can go to CIC. So what the commission does, it can order inquiry. It can order inquiry into misdoings, wrongdoings. And also during the inquiry, it functions as what? It functions as a civil court, quasi-judicial body. So during the inquiry, it functions as a civil court. Okay. So civil court, it can summon a person, it can ask for documents, it can ask for evidence, so it can issue summons to the person. These are some of the functions of the civil court which is exercised by whom? CIC. Okay. So the commission can also direct the authorities in certain directions. So you have to, suppose a public authority is there. Suppose we have this PDS, that is public distribution system, right? So the government maintains record of it, how much grains has come, how much grains has been distributed. So suppose someone goes and files RTA with respect to PDS system. So what the central CIC can ask, the CIC can say, you have to give information in this particular format only. So format which is easily understandable to the public. It prescribes the format. And also, so it can ask the public, it can ask the government to appoint a public information officer. Suppose the department on fertilizers doesn't have a public information officer. Public information officer, every public authority, whether it is aviation ministry, telecom ministry, any department, any public authority must have a public information officer. What does he do? He gives information about the department to the public. If a person doesn't exist, PIO doesn't exist, also this CIC asks the government to appoint such public information officer. So these are some of the functions. So the commission submits annual report to the central government. The commission submits annual report to whom? To central government. Okay. So these are some of the functions of the Central Information Commission. So similarly at the state level we have State Information Commission. So what is the act? Same act. RTA Act 2005 is the act based on which State Information Commission is also formed. So it is a high powered independent body. It is what? It is a high powered independent body. So what does it consist of? It consists of a State Information Commissioner. It consists of a State Information Commissioner plus 10 Information Commissioners. State Information Commissioner plus 10 Information Commissions. So who appoints them? It is appointed by the governor. They are appointed by the governor. So, okay. So, can the governor appoint anybody? No. So, a three-member committee consisting of leader of opposition, home minister and chief minister. These three members recommend who can be appointed as the members of this State Information Commissioner. So, not home minister, state cabinet minister. State cabinet minister, CM plus leader of opposition. Okay. Is it leader of opposition? Yes, it is leader of opposition. Okay, so who are the person? A person in eminence in public life. Someone who has done some achievement in public life, they can be appointed as members. Tenure and service conditions. So here another peculiar condition similar to SHRC. SHRC members are appointed by whom? They are appointed by the governor. Removed by whom? President. Similarly, their tenure, though they are appointed by governor, their tenure is fixed by central government. This difference you have to remember. Their tenure is fixed by central government, similar to CIC, and service conditions are also fixed by government. What are the conditions for removal? Conditions for removal are similar to Chief Information or Central Information Commissioner. Okay, so how the independence is ensured? Even though central government control is a impingement on independence, so impingement on independence, so their salaries and conditions cannot be varied to their disadvantage. So their salaries cannot be reduced, their service condition cannot be reduced during their tenure. That is also prescribed by the RTI Act. This ensures independence. Powers and functions. What are the powers and functions? So it inquires into a complaint. Complaint of what? Suppose you go and file an RTI. If you cannot file an RTI, you can go to a State Information Commission. You don't get the reply, you can go to State Information Commission. There is a delay, then you can go. There is a fees are charged is high, then also you can go. Similar to CIC. So they can order an inquiry. They can order an inquiry if information is not provided. Also, they function as a civil court. Civil court, I told already, civil court similar to Central Information Commission. Civil court powers are exercised by State Information Commission. Okay, so they have the power to secure compliance. So secure compliance means what? If the commission directs, then the state government or any other authority should oblige. So in what directions the commission obliges? So I already said particular format. If you want information in particular format, this much columns, this much rows, this much, in this fashion only the information has to be provided. The SIC can direct the government, then they have to follow it. And also enhancing the training of officers. If PIO is not there, then also they can recommend to the public the government. If and also enhancing the training. So training of PIOs, public information officers, then that also the State Information Commission can recommend to the government. So these are, so also they submit annual report to state government. They submit annual report to state government. Okay. Next is RTA Amendment Act 2019. So there was an Amendment Act. So this is not 2009, it is 2019. So RTA Amendment Act. Okay. So what is the amendment? So earlier the term was fixed. I told term was 5 years. Now the term is determined by central government. Which amendment did it? It is the Amendment Act, RTA Amendment Act 2019. Changed the control of tenure from 5 years to whatever the central government fixes. And salaries and allowances are also prescribed by central government. That change is also brought by which act? This act. And also, okay, so even earlier State Information Commissioner also had 5 years. These people also had 5 years. Now the tenure is fixed by whom? Fixed by central government, not the state government. All these changes were brought about by RTA Act 2000, RTA Amendment Act 2019. Central Vigilance Commission. So let us talk about Central Vigilance Commission. Okay. So when was the Central Vigilance Commission established? So what is vigilance? Vigilance means monitoring the corruption in the government. So this has origin after the Santhanam Committee on Prevention of Corruption. Santhanam Committee of Prevention of Corruption, when was it established? In so this committee was in existence between 1962 to 64. Between 1962 to 64, this committee was functioning. So based on the Committee on Santanam, Committee on Prevention of Corruption, this authority was established in when? 1964. In 1964, this committee was established. So it is a statutory body. There is a CVC Act. CVC Act 2003. So initially it was a government body, executive body. CVC Act 2003 made it a statutory body. That is based on an act of parliament. Okay, so the CVC is the empowered authority with respect to Whistleblowers Act. So what is whistleblowers? Suppose there is a government organization, there is corruption or some misdoing by some person, So some person, let us say person A. If person B is a honest person, he sees this and gives information to the public or press or to higher authorities, he is called as whistleblower of information. So the CVC receives the complaint of whistleblowers. Who receives the complaint? It is the CVC. Okay. So it is the apex vigilance institution. It is not controlled by anyone. So CVC is the apex vigilance institution, not controlled by anybody. Okay. So composition. What is the composition? It is a multi-member body. So consisting of 3 persons. One is the Chief Vigilance Commissioner plus 2 persons. CVC plus 2 persons. How they are appointed? They are appointed by the President. So can the President appoint whoever he wants? No. He can appoint based on the committee recommendation. How many members in the committee? 3 members. Who are the 3 members? Prime Minister, Home Minister and Leader of Opposition. These 3 members recommend to the President that only this person can be made a member of Central Vigilance Commission or a chairman of Central Vigilance Commission. So their tenure is 4 years. 4 years or until they cross the age of 65. Either 4 years or 65 years is the tenure. Okay. So how can they be removed? Similar conditions to CIC. Insolvency, moral turpitude, paid employment, misbehavior or incapacity. These are the conditions under which they can be removed. Okay. So their salary and service conditions cannot be varied. That is, suppose you are appointed as CVC. So your salary cannot be reduced during your work, or also your term, once you are appointed, your term cannot be reduced. So this ensures independence of the body. Independence of whom? Independence of the government. Organization. How CVC is organized. Okay. How CVC is organized. Okay. So there is it has its own secretariat. Secretariat means it has its own building and also secretaries who do all the documentation and paperwork. and also there is a Chief Technical Examiners Wing. Chief Technical Examiners Wing. What do this Chief Technical Examiners Wing do? They conduct technical audit of construction work. Suppose National Highway Authority is building a highway. So whether that highway is properly built according to technical standards. Who checks? It is the Chief Technical Examiners Wing of CVC. Also this wing, this CTEW, so Chief Technical Examiners Wing, checks into specific cases of complaint relating to corruption, relating to construction work. Construction work, specific complaint, this wing examines. Also, they give assistance to CBI. CBI does the CBI investigates cases against illegal property. Then they seek the advice or assistance of CVC, and also they give assistance to vigilance authorities. Vigilance authorities. And also the third body is Commissioners for Departmental Inquiries. The third body is Commissioner for Departmental Inquiries. What is departmental inquiry? Suppose you are a police sub-inspector. You beat your wife to death. You beat your wife to death. So what happens? Two cases are filed. One is in the court. Another is within the police department. Suppose you might be acquitted. The court says you are a honest person or you are a innocent person and might acquit you. However, department inquiry might convict you. So in the case of public servants, there are two kinds of inquiries. One is court inquiry, another is departmental inquiry. So departmental inquiry, this CVC has a separate commissioner to conduct departmental inquiry with respect to what? With respect to corruption. What are the functions of the CVC? Okay, so they inquire into cases referred by central government. They inquire into cases referred by central government under what act? Under Prevention of Corruption Act. When was this act formed? This act was formulated in 1988. Any corruption case, if the central government refers, then CVC looks into it. Okay, so they also look into members of All India Services and Group A officers of central government. So if IAS, IPS or central government officers, IFS, Foreign Service, IRS officers, if they are involved in some corruption, CVC looks into it. So they also exercise superintendence over Delhi Police Special Establishment, that is CBI. Delhi Police Special Establishment is the another name for CBI. So CBI inquires into corruption cases. So it seeks assistance of this CVC, Central Vigilance Commission. They give directions to CBI for in the corruption cases, and also okay. So they also advise the central government in the cases referred to them. Suppose central government refers a corruption case to the CVC, they give advice to the central government. Okay. Also this Whistleblowers Act, I already told Whistleblowers Act, who takes the complaints? It is the CVC. That is also a function. And also central government with has to consult CVC in the disciplinary matters of All India Service servants. That is, you are an IAS or IPS, you involve in some corruption, then and you get caught. Suppose you have to be dismissed, then the central government asks whether this person should be dismissed. To whom they ask? They ask to CVC. Okay. Okay. Under Lokpal and Loka Act, there is Lokpal and Loka Act 2013. Under this act also, CVC has special functions. Okay, what are the special functions? We look under the chapter on Lokayukta and Lokpal Act. Jurisdiction. What is the jurisdiction of CVC? So, members of All India Services, that is IAS, IPS and IFS, public sector bank officers, and also central government employees, and also public sector undertakings, that is your Bharat Petroleum, ONGC is there, and also BEL is there, BHEL is there. All these public sector undertakings, corruption is jurisdiction who has, CVC has, and general insurance companies, your National Insurance, Oriental Insurance, LIC, all these organizations, corruption is dealt by whom? Dealt by CVC. Working. How this body works? CVC. So it is headquartered at where? It is headquartered at New Delhi. Okay, it is vested with its own power to regulate procedure. So that is day-to-day proceedings of this, day-to-day proceedings of CVC, day-to-day conduct of business. Who formally gives the procedure to CVC? Day-to-day functioning. It is the CVC itself. Neither the state government nor the central government can say to CVC that you have to conduct this function. So it is regulated by the CVC itself. It has the powers of civil code. So it is a quasi-judicial body. It has the powers of a civil court. With respect to what? With respect to corruption cases. So, in the cases referred to the CVC, it gives its opinion to the central government and suggests further course of action. That is, with respect to this corrupt person, you have to take this particular course of action. Who suggests? It is the CVC. Okay, they submit annual report to the president. They submit annual report to the president. Vigilance units in the ministries. So there are so many ministries in the central government. There is a Civil Aviation Ministry. There is this Ministry of Science and Technology. There is Ministry of Petroleum. So many ministries. Every ministry has a vigilance unit. To check corruption in those ministries. So this office is called Chief Vigilance Officer. Chief Vigilance Officer inside every ministry. So they collect intelligence about corrupt practices in the organization. Suppose Ministry of Textiles, some corruption is happening. The CVO will collect the intelligence and later submit to the government. So also they investigate with respect to allegations. Suppose a person is alleged to be corrupt. This CVO conducts investigation with respect to corruption. Last comes Whistleblowers Protection Act. I already told whistleblower protection is the prerogative of whom? It is the prerogative of CVC. Okay, so what does this act provide? So first is the safeguarding the identity of whistleblower. I already said, suppose B is corrupt in an organization, A informs, his security has to be ensured, or else B might give supari to him and get him killed. So first is safeguard the identity. So that person's identity should not be disclosed. Next is it encourages, this act encourages persons to blow whistle. Recently, Vice President also encouraged whistleblowing in the private industry. So nowadays people get scared to blow whistle because some danger might happen. So this act encourages people to blow the whistle. Okay. Any person can make a complaint to CVC with respect to such corruption or any misdoings. So false complaint. Suppose you give a false complaint, you might be imprisoned for giving false complaint. Okay. So every complaint made in good faith will be, so that is, if you make a genuine complaint, that complaint will be investigated by whom? Investigated by CVC. Okay. This is with respect to Whistleblowers Protection Act. Next, we will move to Central Bureau of Investigation, your favorite body, CBI. Okay. So establishment. So this body was established in 1963. 1963, CBI was established. So it is under which ministry? It is under the Ministry of Home Affairs, Home Ministry, right? Okay. So what is the act under which okay, so it was established by Ministry of Home Affairs. It was established by Ministry of Home Affairs. Later it was transferred to Ministry of Personnel. Ministry of Personnel, Department of Personnel and Training, DOPT. So later it was transferred to Department of Personnel. Established under Ministry of Home Affairs, later transferred to Department of Ministry of Personnel. So now it is a attached office. Attached office means independent. Now it is a attached office. This is the status of CBI. So which is the act? So it is set up under Special Police Establishment Act. Special Police Establishment Act. So it is set up under Special Police Establishment Act 1946. So it is called Delhi Special Police Establishment Act. Delhi Special Police Establishment Act 1946. So this is the act under which CBI is established. So it is the main investigation agency of central government. Central government, any main investigation agency is there, it is CBI. Karnataka government, it is CID. Okay. Okay, so it plays important role with respect to prevention of corruption and minimizing corruption and also maintaining integrity of administration. That is, administration is carried out in a proper way. So motto, mission and vision. Motto means a saying. So the motto given by Lal Bahadur Shastri, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. Similarly, motto of CBI is industry, impartiality and integrity. Industry, impartiality, integrity is the motto. Mission, how this motto is, so let's first look at vision. Vision is long-term goal. Based on its motto, mission and need, so to develop professionalism and use of science and technology in investigation is the vision. So what is the mission? How it is implemented? So first is to uphold the constitution. Constitution has to be respected. Is the mission of CBI. Is the mission of CBI. Okay. And also it provides leadership to the police forces. So it provides leadership to the police forces with respect to how proper investigation has to be conducted. That is also a mission. So what are certain functions of the CBI? Combating corruption, reducing corruption in the society. So effective, successful investigation, crime, successful investigation, and also support state police organization, supporting state police organization, fight cybercrime fighting, and also organized crime, fighting organized crime is also the function of CBI. Organization of CBI, how CBI is organized. So there is a CBI director. Okay, CBI has how many divisions? Presently it has 7 divisions. What are the 7 divisions? Anti-corruption division, economic offences division, special crimes division, crime. So first is corruption, second is economic offence. Economic offence means, for example, Vijay Mallya case, took money from public sector banks, went to some other country. That is a kind of economic offence. Coal scam, 2G scam, economic offence. Special crimes division, special crimes, technological crimes, that is your ransomwares, that is what was that virus? Pegasus. So those categories come under special crimes. And also policy and coordination division is there, administration division is there, directorate of prosecution. Prosecution means prosecuting the person for crime. So in the courts, that division is there. And forensic science laboratory. Forensic science laboratory, crime place, suppose blood stains or some information is given, that is trusted in the forensics. So that forensic laboratory, that division is also there. What is the composition of CBI? Composition of, so CBI is headed by a director. So there are director is there. So there under him special directors and assistant directors. So this is the broad composition. So there might be joint directors, DIGs, SPs and other persons. So totally around 5,000 people. So totally 5,000 people. So with respect to corruption cases, I told in CVC, CBI has to take the help of which organization? CVC. CBI has to take the help of CVC in corruption cases. So CBI director, tenure 2 years. If you are appointed a CBI director, you will be there for 2 years. Okay. Okay, so CBI director, how he is appointed? It is appointed based on Lokpal and Loka Act. So CBI is one peculiar organization whose functioning is derived from 3 authorities. One is CVC Act. CVC Act also has some provision for CBI. Lokpal and Loka Act also has some provisions for CBI. Whistleblowers Act also has some provisions with respect to CBI. And one more function is Prevention of Corruption Act also has some functions with respect to CBI. So many acts CBI derives its authority. Even Delhi Special Police Establishment Act. So all these acts empowers the CBI. So functions of CBI, composition of CBI I am talking about. So central government appoints the director on the recommendation of whom? 3-member committee. Prime Minister, leader of opposition of Lok Sabha, Chief Justice of India. So 3 authorities. So you can remember like this: executive, legislature, judiciary. Executive, Prime Minister, legislature, leader. All these authorities appoint the CBI director. Okay. So also there will be a Directorate of Prosecution. Directorate of Prosecution, I spoke about it. Okay. So next we have SP rank officers. The central government shall appoint officers of rank of SP and above. So I told there are SPs, DIGs, joint directors and many other officers. Above SP, how the members are appointed. So they are appointed by recommendation of a committee consisting of CVC. So based on CVC recommendations, Central Vigilance Commission recommendations, these members are appointed. With respect to director, it is this. With respect to other members, it is CVC. Okay. Functions of CBI. What are the functions? I already told. Corruption cases, it will look into. Economic offences, it will look into it. Serious crimes, it will look into it. That is drug trade, it will look into it. Money laundering, it will to look. Terrorism financing, everything, it will look into it. Okay. So it also maintains crime data. So which is the organization which maintains crime data? It is National Crime Records Bureau. Even CBI maintains its own record. Okay. So this is with respect to brief functioning of the CBI. So CBI is a multidisciplinary investigation agency. That is, it has expertise in conducting many investigation in many areas, starting from child crimes up to economic crimes. All kinds of cases. Even it can investigation cases like murder, kidnapping, rape crimes and many other things. Okay, CBI acts as a Interpol, National Central Bureau. Interpol, what is Interpol? Interpol means International Police. So suppose police of the United States have to coordinate with Indian police. So with whom do they coordinate? Do they coordinate in Karnataka police or the Kerala police? No, they coordinate with CBI. CBI is the chief Interpol in the country. Provision of prior permission. So recently we saw this West Bengal government and also Punjab government and also Rajasthan government withdrawing general approval to CBI. What do you mean by general approval? Suppose, so general sanction or general approval. So suppose CBI has to investigate a case within the boundary of West Bengal. So for every case, the CBI, because law and order is a state subject, I already told you what is state subject. It falls under state government prerogative. Since law and order is a state subject, since CBI also functions in the area of law and order, suppose CBI, which is a central agency, has to investigate case in the state government, they have to, every time they have to seek the permission of state government. So what, instead of seeking permission every time, what the states did, they gave general consent, general approval. That is, whenever cases are there, you can investigate without our approval. However, because of complaints of misusing CBI, misusing of CBI by whom? Misusing of CBI by central government against political opponents, West Bengal, Punjab and also Rajasthan, which are ruled by opposition parties, withdrew the general consent. This is a current affairs topic. So, prior permission. So CBI is to obtain prior approval of the central government with respect to Joint Secretary and above officers. Joint Secretary and above officers, the CBI has to obtain prior approval by whom? By central government. Okay. So, however, this was ruled, this prior permission rule was held invalid by Supreme Court. Supreme Court said CBI need not take the prior permission. Okay. So, this is all about the prior permission. So that is what, suppose Joint Secretary and above, if the CBI has to investigate the case, it had to earlier what? It had to earlier seek prior permission from whom? Central government. However, Supreme Court said nothing doing. So they are corrupt officers. They need not ask your permission. They can go ahead directly. CBI versus state police. What is the difference? So we have Karnataka State Police and also CBI. So CBI is established by Delhi Special Police Establishment Act, right? It is established by DPSC Act 1946. Okay. So what are the cases taken up by CBI? The CBI takes all the cases in which central government employees are involved. Central government employee cases, who takes up? CBI. And also state police takes up cases with respect to state government employees. This is the difference. With respect to public sector undertakings, that is your ONGC, BL, HAL, HMT. So all these cases are taken by CBI. Okay, see, there is a CBI Academy. So here there is 3 cases. So with respect to union list offences, so the central government can give permission to CBI to investigate the cases. However, state list, that is law and order, if the case has to be investigated by CBI, so CBI cannot directly come and investigate. Even the central government cannot direct the CBI to go and investigate. It is only the state government which has to give permission. Suppose your DK Ravi case, who committed suicide. So until the state government gave permission for CBI to conduct inquiry, the case was not taken up by CBI. Only after state government said, yes, CBI you can investigate, then only CBI can investigate. So apart from government, who can give permission to the CBI to investigate? It is the courts. Either the Supreme Court or the High Court can ask CBI to take up the investigation. Okay, so there is a CBI Training Academy. Where is it? It is in Ghaziabad. So it is in Ghaziabad. What type of trainings they conduct? They conduct short-term in-service training and also long-term basic courses. This much if you know about the academy, it is more than sufficient. Lokpal and Loka Act. Lokpal and Loka Act. What do you mean by Lokpal and Loka Act? It is an institution of Ombudsman. Ombudsman means what? So, we have given authority to government to rule us, right? So, the government can rule us, even they can punish us, they can formulate rules for us. So, suppose the government does some mistake, who will take care of it? Who will look after it? It is the office of Ombudsman. So, this is the office of Ombudsman. Okay, so where did this Ombudsman system originate? It originated in the European countries. First country, Sweden. Sweden was the first country to set up the office of Ombudsman. Okay, so to monitor the executive, that is government, if it does some function mistake, who monitors? It is the office of Ombudsman. So what is this is the global scenario that is originated in Sweden. What is the position in India? What is the position in India? So to check corruption. So citizens grievance. Citizens to handle citizens grievance against government. Citizens grievance. Grievance means what? Citizens complaints. So who handles it? It is the Ombudsman. What are the authorities with respect to handling citizens complaints? We have Indian Penal Code is there, Delhi Special Police Establishment Act is there, we have CBI, we have CVC. So many authorities deal with the citizens grievances and also check corruption. Citizens grievance, checking corruption. These two areas are taken up by Ombudsman. So we have CBI, CVC, we have Lokpal and many other institutions to handle these two areas. So we will move to the office of Lokpal. So the Lokpal was recently appointed one or 2 years back. So where does it start? So first Administrative Reforms Commission headed by Morarji Desai. First Administrative Reforms Commission recommended setting up of Lokpal or Lokayukta. Why? To address citizens grievance. You are a citizen, you have any complaint against government. Where should you go? You should go to the Ombudsman, which is called as Lokpal or Lokayukta in India. So Lokpal central level, Lokayukta state level. Okay. So who recommends it? It is recommended by First Administrative Reforms Commission. Okay. So what are the qualities of Lokayukta? Features. What features should be there? They should be independent from the government. Government should not have any interference. So they should investigate into complaints, and also their functioning should be non-political. So politicians should not have any interference, or the body itself should not have any political leanings. It should not be associated with any body. So these are the certain features of the office of Lokpal. Also, they should not look for self-advantage, that is making money for themselves. That is also a feature of Lokpal. So this office of Lokpal was started, that is formulation was initially started during Indira Gandhi era. Okay. However, the Lokpal Act was passed in 2013. What is the features of Lokpal Act 2013, Lokpal and Lokayukta Act? So it seeks to establish Lokpal at the center and Lokayukta at the state. That is the main feature. Okay, so the jurisdiction, they can even prosecute the Prime Minister, not a Chief Minister. Anybody in India can be prosecuted by Lokpal and Lokayukta. So the Lokpal consists of chairman and 8 members. The body consists of chairman plus 8 members. Who? Lokpal authority. And also the selection of chairman can be done by, chairman and members can be done by whom? There is a selection committee. Who are the members of selection committee? So the members of selection committee are Prime Minister, Speaker of Lok Sabha, Leader of Opposition, Chief Justice of India. So there are and a eminent jurist. So selection committee 5 members, Prime Minister, Leader of Opposition, Speaker of Lok Sabha, Chief Justice of India and an eminent jurist. They recommend to the President. President appoints the Lokpal and other members. Okay, so even the Prime Minister is under the jurisdiction of Lokpal. They can even arrest or prosecute the Prime Minister. Okay, their jurisdiction involves all, government officers are divided into 4 groups. Group A, Group B, C and D. So this is largely clerical. This is manual work, that is drivers and multitasking staff are in Group D. Group C, clerical staff. Group B and A, guested officers. So all of them come under the purview of whom? They come under the purview of Lokpal. Okay. So I told already Directorate of Prosecution. Where is Directorate of Prosecution? It is under CBI. So this Directorate of Prosecution, director is appointed by whom? By Lokpal. It is appointed by Lokpal. Okay. So these are the certain features or functions of the Lokpal. Okay, what are the drawbacks? Drawbacks of Lokpal. Okay. So the drawbacks are, so they cannot suo motu proceed against any public servant. That is, they cannot on their own proceed against public servant. Suppose a person is corrupt, the Lokpal cannot directly prosecute him. Someone has to file complaint, then only they can prosecute. And also the punishment is comparatively less. The punishment is not severe. Okay, anonymous complaints are not allowed. That is, if you want to give your complaint hiding your identity, it is not allowed. Only if you divulge your identity, then only you can give complaint. Lokayuktas at the state level. Okay, Lokayuktas at the state level. So even before Lokayukta Act, the Lokpal Act, there was Lokayuktas. Karnataka had Lokayukta from long time, right? Justice, who is the famous Lokayuktas? Justice Venkatachalaya, Justice Santosh Hegde. So these were the famous Lokayuktas in India, in Karnataka. Karnataka established Lokayukta in 1985. See, 1985. The Act came in 2013. So almost 30 years before the Lokayukta institution was established. So Lokayukta, there are structural variations. That is, the Lokayukta in Karnataka is different from Lokayukta in Tamil Nadu. So what are the structural variations? Some states, structural variations. What are the structural variations? So some states have Lokayukta and Upalokayukta as well, whereas some states have only Lokayukta. These are the broad structural variations. So appointment system is also different. So some state governor is involved, some state Chief Justice of India is involved, some state leader of opposition is involved, so many other things. Even their qualifications, who can be Lokayukta differs from state to state. Tenure, how long they can serve, that also differs from state to state. Jurisdiction, some states involve Lokayukta, some state Lokayukta can even arrest the chief minister. However, some states cannot touch the chief minister. So even with respect to members of legislatures, that is MLAs, with respect to civil servants, the provisions are different in different states. Investigations. So investigation machinery, some state they can suo motu means what? Suo motu means they can on their own proceed against the culprit or the corrupt officer. So some states they can act suo motu on their own. Some states they can proceed only on someone's complaint. Scope of cases covered. So what are the cases covered? Some case only corruption, in some cases corruption and maladministration. All these things are covered under Lokayukta. So this is broadly about Lokpal and Lokayukta. Next we will talk about National Investigation Agency. When was this set up? What was the reason for setting up NIA? You remember Mumbai terror attack 2008, Ajmal Kasab. After this attack, NIA was set up in India. Before that, there was no NIA. So it is a statutory body, not a constitutional body. What is the act? It is NIA Act 2009. NIA Act 2009. Okay. So headquarter New Delhi. It is headed by a Director General. It is headed by a Director General. Which ministry? Ministry of Home Affairs. Ministry of Home Affairs. Rationale. Why did NIA was set up? First case, terrorism. Too much terror attacks in India. Cross-border terrorism, bomb blast. That is the reason. Next is this smuggling of drugs. Fake Indian currency was being circulated. That is the second case. So because of all this, they wanted a national agency. National agency. Here also there is one issue. Law and order is a state subject. NIA mostly dealing with the law and order subject, impinges on the powers of state government. That is why Jharkhand government under Article 131. Article 131 is what? Look at the chapter on Parliament. Under Article 131, original jurisdiction. Original jurisdiction means what? Center state disputes or state disputes. Under 131, Jharkhand went to Supreme Court saying NIA is not good. It is not good for our existence. So it is the impingement on federalism, federal principle. Okay. Even second administrative commission, who headed? So first administrative commission was headed by whom? Morarji Desai. Second ARC was headed by whom? Our former chief minister Veerappa Moily ji. Veerappa Moily ji headed second administrative commission. They also recommended this establishment of NIA. Okay. So functions of NIA. What are the functions of NIA? So investigate all the offences under NIA Act. NIA Act, there is a NIA Act which gives various offences that has to be investigated by National Investigation Agency. That might be terrorism activities, technical terrorism, technological terrorism, virtual computer terrorism, that also is covered. So it provides assistance to various organizations in conducting inquiry. Speedy and effective implementation of NIA Act. So vision and mission of NIA. What is the vision? So vision is professional investigation is the vision. So counter-terrorism, proper standard counter-terrorism investigation is also a vision. What is the mission? So how this vision is done? Effective and speedy trial. Effective and speedy trial. Okay. Result oriented investigation. So whatever the investigation done, it should result in some outcome. So and also modern methods of investigation. There is a list of missions given in your book. You can go and look into it. Jurisdiction of NIA. What is the jurisdiction? So I already said state governments are complaining that no, you cannot come and work in our area. So So the jurisdiction is all India, and also the NIA interacts with foreign government agencies. So Homeland Department, where it is? Homeland Department USA, if it wants to interact with respect to India, Homeland Department USA, if it has to interact with Indian government intelligence agency or anti-terrorism agency, they talk with NIA. Okay, international collaboration. Okay, so all these activities are carried out. NIA Amendment Act 2019, sorry, 2019, it is not 2009, it is 2019. So earlier NIA jurisdiction was confined only within the boundary of India. Within the boundary of India, NIA used to work. So now the jurisdiction is covering all over the world. If the effect is happening within India, then the jurisdiction of NIA is expanded all over the world. That is outside India. Okay. So even cases, crimes committed against India outside, suppose Indian embassy in Kabul, Indian embassy in France. So there some crime is committed, the case can be registered in India. So it also added new offences. It also added new offences to NIA Act. Earlier only an organization, that is Jamatul Dawa, so Hizbul Mujahideen, so Lashkar-e-Toiba, so many things, only an organization could be designated as a terror. Now NIA Act, individual terrorist can also be designated. That is also there. Okay. So also it has added new crimes to NIA Act. Now let us look into National Disaster Management Act. Okay. National Disaster Management Act. So establishment of NDMA. Establishment of National Disaster Management Authority. What does it do? Disasters, floods, landslides, heavy rain, so many things, collapse of ground, earthquake, cyclones, everywhere, even in the times of COVID. It is the National Disaster Management Authority which pitched in to work. Okay, so there was an incident. So you might know Bhuj earthquake. Where did it happen? Bhuj earthquake, Gujarat, 2001 Bhuj earthquake. After which, and also 2000 tsunami. Which year? Indian Ocean tsunami, 2004. After which this authority was set up in 2005. It is a statutory authority. We have Disaster Management Act, National Disaster Management Act 2005. On this act, this authority was set up. Okay. So 2005 Act, upon this act, this authority was set up in 2006. 2005 Act, in 2005 the act will come up, the authority comes up in 2006. So what is the composition? It consists of a chairperson and 8 members. Chairperson plus 8 members. Okay, so who is the chairperson of NDMA? It is the Prime Minister. Prime Minister is the chairperson of National Disaster Management Authority. Okay, so other members are, so these members are nominated by the Prime Minister. Nominated, the Prime Minister says who can be the other members. Okay, so it is the, under which ministry it is there? NDMA is under Home Ministry. under Home Ministry, similar to NIA. So it is the Chief Disaster Management Authority in India. It is the Chief Disaster Management Authority in India. So establishment of NDMA is done. Objectives. What are the objectives of NDMA? So prevention, preparedness and resilience. So disaster is going to strike. Cyclone is going to come in another 72 hours. We have to prevent. We have to protect our citizens. We have to be prepared. All this is the objectives, goals of this organization. To use technology in disaster preparedness is also an objective. Environmental protection is an objective. Proper disaster management plan has to be formulated. That is also an objective. So we have National Disaster Management Plan. So recent disaster management plan was given in 2019, National Disaster Management Plan. Okay. So early warning system. If a disaster is going to strike, this NDMA gives early warning. This early warning system is set up by National Disaster Management Authority. Functions of NDMA. What are the functions? Okay. To lay down policies on disaster management policies, state disaster management policy, national disaster management policy. So, national disaster management plans, how disaster have to be combated. The plan is laid down by whom? It is laid down by the NDMA. To approve the national plan, it approves this plan. I told this plan was formulated. It was approved by whom? It is approved by National Disaster Management Authority. So it also gives guidelines to whom? State Disaster Management Authority. So we have, just like National Disaster Management Authority, we have State Disaster Management Authority. So guidelines are given by National Disaster Management Authority. So it coordinates the plans. So we have so many authorities. There is police force, there is district force, there are state police is there, district force is there, and so many volunteers are there. So everyone gets coordinated by whom? It is coordinated by NDMA. So it acts as a coordinating body. Okay. Next. So it recommends provision of funds for the purpose of mitigation. So mitigation means reduction of mitigation means what? Reduction of disaster. So how the reduction takes place? By allocating sufficient funds for preparedness. So recommendation of funds are given by whom? NDMA. Okay. So it also supports other countries. Nepal disaster, Nepal earthquake, who supported? NDMA went and supported. So these are the certain functions of the National Disaster Management Authority. Now we will talk about State Disaster Management Authority. State Disaster Management Authority. So what are the composition? What is the composition of State Disaster Management Authority? So same composition, chairperson plus 8 members. Chairperson plus 8 members is the composition of State Disaster Management Authority. So the chairperson is a this chairperson appoints the 8 members. So in the case of National Disaster Management Authority, chairperson is the Prime Minister. In the case of state, who is the chairperson? He is a member of State Executive Committee on Disaster. So it is the CM. Here chairperson is Prime Minister. Here Chief Minister is the chairperson of SDMA. He appoints the rest 8 persons. What are the functions? Similar functions to NDMA. That is to lay down the disaster management policy, to formulate state disaster plan, and also to coordinate the departments. There are many departments. How the departments of the state government come together to combat the disaster. That is ensured by SDMA. And also to recommend funds for mitigation, funds for prevention of disaster. That is also recommended by State Disaster Management Authority. So rest of the function you can just copy and paste from National Disaster Management Authority functions. So last we have District Disaster Management Authority. District Disaster Management Authority. So what is the composition? Okay, it consists of a chairperson and other members. Chairperson plus 7 members. So here it is actually 9. So national and state level, it is actually chairperson plus 9 members. Sorry, 1 second. Chairperson plus 9 members. So in the district level, it is chairperson plus how many members? 7 members. Okay. So who heads the District Disaster Management Authority? It is the DC. So suppose you become an IAS and a DC, you will head the District Disaster Management Authority. So district magistrate or district commissioner, he will head the District Disaster Management Authority. Okay. So what are the functions? Similar. So every district has a district disaster management plan. Suppose you belong to Mandya district, it will have its own district disaster management plan. You belong to Hassan district, that will also have its own disaster management plan. So also they coordinate various plans. National, there is a plan. State level, there is a plan. District level, there is a plan. All these plans are coordinated by district authorities, and also they coordinate between various departments. Coordination is done by this district authorities, that is District Disaster Management Authority. So, and also they conduct training programs for volunteers. District level volunteers will be helpful for combating in the case of disaster. Suppose earthquake take place, flood take place, then volunteers means citizens will be ready to help. So but they have to be trained. Who trains it? It is District Disaster Management Authority. So, and also they develop system of early warning. Suppose cyclone is going to strike in another 100 hours. So early warning system is also developed under District Disaster Management Authority. So these are the broad functions of the District Disaster Management Authority. Okay. So we will end the polity section for today. There is one more section almost. I require 1 more hour for polity to discuss many other things. We have cooperative societies, official language, public services, rights and liabilities, special provisions to certain classes, political parties, elections, and pressure groups, and national integration, and foreign policy, and working of the constitution. These many sections have to discuss in the polity section. So it almost requires me 1 more class. However, due to paucity of time, I am going to cut short the polity session for today. From tomorrow, we will start from history. This section, this leftover section, I will ensure I will cover at the end of the course by making up the time. Hope you found the class today useful, though I am running a bit fast because The time given for me is just 2 months. I have to cover almost 8 subjects in a span of 2 months. So covering polity in 10 days, 2 days per hour is a uphill task. But I have covered almost 90%, more than 90%, approximately 90% of your polity in the 10 days. So rest 5% I will cover at the end of the course. Hope you found the entire polity module helpful. Please make good use of it and it will be helpful for your exam. Thanks for your patience. Please take good care of your health and please let us meet tomorrow for history section. Thank you. Take care. Namaste. Jai Hind.